Hi, this is Dale. I'm your librarian for sociology, and I wanted to give you a very quick tour of how to use this particular campus guide or research guide, or whatever you want to call it, or even library guide. So first of all, a lot of the things that you see in this guide are going to be licensed only for students, staff, and faculty at the University of Utah. If we go to the library homepage, you see right here, that's where you would log in if you were off campus. If you're on campus in some wireless networks, you need to do that too. But let's go back to the guide. When you're doing research in sociology, it can be one of those things that makes you feel really intense and like an imposter or something like that. So follow along with me. This should help. First thing won't help. There's about 2 million things that are published in scholarly peer-reviewed journals every year across the disciplines. Almost all of them tie in social research because we want to know how do people react to the strength of bridges. So civil engineering and sociology come across. Just one small example. When you are starting out, this first one right here, oh, I can highlight everything uselessly. Background info. If you know nothing about a topic and you want to just get that general information, Wikipedia does this really well. So don't forget, Wikipedia is good for the background info. So you're gathering pieces of jargon, like what do people call it? So like there's a big addiction going on with this chemical that's been given out to people for a variety of reasons, and that goes under like opioid addiction. So if you went into any one of these, Nexus Uni's newspapers, CQ's government policy, but if you went into any of these and typed in opioid, you'd be able to see more details, where it was happening, who the key players were, some of the policymakers working, maybe some investigators and things like that. But this is kind of like if you don't know anything, or if you want to validate what you already know. Second step, mid-level research. This is getting into where scholars and professionals are talking with each other. And so this might be, my favorite one, sociological abstracts, but there's a lot of scholarly articles in there, but there might be journal articles talking about an update, like an annotated bibliography assignment that you may have had to do. Professionals will do annotated bibliographies too, and they'll say, what's going on with this particular thing? Here's citations and here's the history of it. Lastly, oh, these are great for keywords too, so you can figure out how they're describing it in the professions. Last one, literature review tools. These are the ultra serious, high-end scholarship that you can go into once you're armed with the background information and that scholarly information and how people are talking about it, trends and keywords and things like that. When you go in here, you can systematically discover under one specific keyword, opioid addiction and social work and municipality policy, something really exotically detailed like that. You can go in and find everything that's been published and what has bubbled up to the top in impact, what had the greatest significance. Lastly, so those are the big steps for like doing a paper. But there's also these little wild cards out here. The government, the United States government, the Utah state government, all the state governments, as well as governments around the world are regularly publishing information about data that they've gathered. So you take it with a grain of salt depending on the government that you're looking at. There's tons of information out there. So here's some leading points to look at for policy or for studies that have gone on. Another one is independent research institutes will also put out their own information, white papers, if you will, where they're gathering evidence. If you follow some of these guidelines, it's tips for how to find things out on Google. Lastly, and I think I did a video for this that showed up on Canvas, you can do, there's a video overview on Canvas and there's another one here, how to use citation managers. I'm happy to help with any of the things that I've talked about. Information literacy criteria. What do you do when you can't find an article and they're asking you to pay $36? Don't ever pay for articles, that sort of thing. Here's some IRB stuff if you have to do some IRB. Mind mapping is really handy. I'd love to meet with you or a group and we could work out mind mapping. And that's how you use this guide. Oh, lastly, here's a picture of me with a slightly smaller mustache, I'm ashamed to say. Email me. I'm here available for consultations. Or you can just talk to me via email and I can help you out.